Hey, I'm Janet Lynn Boswell, a faith based certified life purpose coach and survivor of childhood sexual abuse and religious and family trauma, sharing what I wish people understood about me and other survivors. So, welcome to A Survivor's Perspective. Hey there.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm good. Finally glad to be on ASP Podcast. Yay!
Yay! And you
I've
are
been
my first
waiting.
guest. Yeah,
Thank
you are my first guest. So welcome and
you.
confetti.
Yes, I feel so honored. Thank you.
I'm so thankful to you for just being willing to come on and share your story of survival and just one major thing that you have overcome and how God has helped you through that. But first, let me share with the people who you are. And I want to introduce to some, present to others, my sister, my friend, my honorary cousin, Miss Tanease Delyons, aka Coach Passion. And Coach Passion is, when I think of you, I think of someone who is just so artistic. I know that you are a creative, but I'm a creative too, but I don't consider myself to be artistic as well. But when I think of you, I just think of creativity and art and, just Coach Passion is a poet, and she's going to share with us how poetry has played a pivotal role in her life and in her healing and recovery. And also, Coach Passion is a certified life coach, and we have that in common. So, yeah, so Coach Passion, welcome.
Thank
And
you again. Thank you for that beautiful introduction. I love you.
oh, I love you too. All right. So, first question. Name one thing in your life that you have survived and something that has had a major impact in how you show up and in and move through life. So, what
Okay.
is that one thing that you really wanted to share with the viewers and listeners today?
Oh, I am a survivor of childhood sexual abuse and rape. And
Mm,
it's something that really shaped my life in ways I didn't fully understand at the time
mm,
because I was so young.
okay.
But surviving, being a survivor of childhood sexual abuse and rape has taught me about resilience, faith, and the long journey of healing because it's been a long road.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and sharing my story isn't about looking for sympathy or anything like that. It's about sharing how I was able to overcome and turn my pain into purpose.
Okay.
It's about reminding other people that they too can survive,
Mm.
um, even when the pain feels unspeakable.
Mm. So you say that you were so young when it happened. How or what age are we or age range are we talking of?
Um, I was like 7 years old
Mm.
when I was first sexually molested, and then
Mm-hmm.
I was 13 when I was raped.
Okay. Oh, so sorry. So sorry to hear that. Were these people that you knew already or?
Yes, my cousin was the one that sexually molested me,
Mm,
and there was a young guy in our neighborhood during the time. My girlfriend was dating his cousin, And he used to come over into the neighborhood to visit. And we would all just be outside. Now we young, back in the day, you used to have to hang around outside. You can't be inside the house. Mama
Mm.
like, get up, do your chores, and go. And don't you come back in here
Not,
until
that's
it's
right.
time, right?
Till the street lights come
Till the
on.
street lights come
Hmm.
on, right? So even if you didn't have nothing to do, you would have to just sit there because you can't go in the house.
Yeah.
But one thing she used to always tell me was that I don't want you in anybody else's house when
Mm-hmm.
their parents are not home.
Mm-hmm.
And my girlfriend, God rest her soul, I loved her to death. But we were in her house when her mom wasn't home one night. Her mom had gone out. So it was her date, and me and his cousin.
Mm.
And they got up to go in the room to do whatever they do.
Mm-hmm.
And he started making advances towards me. And I was like, that's not what this is or what I'm here for. And at one point, I was like, I'm just going to get up and leave. He blocked me from leaving, and a physical fight ensued. We were fighting in our house. And so at one point, I ran into the bathroom and I didn't get there quick enough to shut it, to lock it. So I'm on one side of the door with my feet up against the vanity, trying to hold the door closed. He's on the other side pushing. So we pushing and he's pushing to get in, and I'm pushing to kind of hold him because my back was up against the wall. I don't even remember what happened after that point, but somehow he ended up getting in. We were in the bathroom again, fighting, and he picked me up and he kind of threw me on the bathroom floor. And it was at that point that I was like, yeah, stop fighting because this boy is going to hurt you. So I
Mm-hmm.
just kind of, at that point, I just gave up all fight and just kind of laid there because it was like no use.
Mm-hmm.
So, after everything was over, I don't know why they didn't come out the room, if they should have heard us. I don't know if they had music on and they couldn't hear, but after everything was said and done, he gonna look at me and say, "See what you made me do." And I was 13, right?
Yeah.
So I got myself together. I left, went home. When I got in the house, I took a nice hot shower and I cried myself to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
The next day I woke up, she called and asked what happened. I didn't even say anything to her. I was just like, yeah, nothing. I was in the room too long, so I went home. Um, talked about it. I never even asked her, well, did you hear me hollering and screaming? Did you hear all of the commotion that was going on? And I think I didn't ask her because that meant if she heard me and she didn't come out to check on me,
Mm-hmm.
to make sure I was okay,
Mm-hmm.
that would have hurt me more than anything else
Mm-hmm.
because I don't care what I'm in the process or what I'm doing. If I hear my friend is in distress or screaming or whatever, I'm coming to check on you.
Mm-hmm.
That never happened. So
Mm-hmm.
I never questioned it. I never asked her. It was just as life is normal, but it wasn't normal because I had so much bottled up inside of me. And that one night took everything from me. My whole life got set on a different trajectory. It was already bad enough that I was dealing with um, emotions from being sexually molested at a younger age.
Mm-hmm.
And because it was a family member, I didn't know who to tell, what to tell, and
Yeah.
back then those things were kind of like you just don't say,
Yeah.
say anything. I guess want to call it taboo, but I didn't know who to tell or what even to say.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. So I'm still dealing with all of that, but those two events really changed my life.
And um, how old was he? When you were
16,
13, he was six. Mm-hmm.
16. Mhm.
And isn't it so, oh, what is the word I want to use? Am Amazing, but not in a good way, how abusers have a way of blaming you for what they do
Hmm.
and making it your fault instead of, you know, claiming responsibility for their own actions.
Yes.
And what that does to the victim, the survivor, what that does to our thinking, because there's a part of you that knows this was not my fault. You did this.
Right.
But then there's another part of you, well, maybe it was, maybe I did do something. Did you struggle with that? In psychology, what do we call it? Uh, it's where I can't think of the name of it right now, but it's where you are of two minds, really, and two opinions are battling it out in your mind, two perspectives about what happened.
I carried a spirit of guilt and shame for a long time.
Okay.
And I think to some degree, I still deal with it. And
Mm-hmm.
I have to recognize that this was not your fault, that wasn't your fault. Um, because it has shown up in my life as being an angry Black woman,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
A low self-esteem, a lack of confidence. These are the things that I've struggled with because of it. Because you're right, they make you think it's your fault by the stupid things that they say out their mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And in the back of your mind, you think, well, was there something I could have done? Did I fight? Oh, Jesus. Did I fight hard enough?
Right.
You know, did I scream loud enough?
Right.
You know, these are the things that you deal with over and over again.
Right.
Even, and being even at 7, and I go back and I always think, now that I have children of my own and a granddaughter, from the time they was 2, 3 years old, I started telling them, if somebody touches you inappropriately, you need
Yeah.
to let me know.
Yes.
I don't remember ever hearing things like that
Right.
growing up,
Right.
right?
Right.
If I go into a room and see my 5 or 6 or 7 year old daughter, if I would have seen them sitting like on an uncle's lap, or because you know how they like to put you on their lap, it's
Yeah.
get down,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
may be innocent, but get down. Like I said, I didn't remember hearing those things when I was younger. If somebody touches you inappropriately, you let me know. If you're out, just a reinforcement that says, okay, we know that there are child molesters and people of not good character and integrity
Mm-hmm.
lurking around.
Mm-hmm.
You have to prepare
Mm-hmm.
your children for
Mm-hmm.
what they may encounter in the world.
You know, to I'm sorry. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead.
No, finish. Go ahead and
No,
finish.
I forgot what I was about to say.
I'm so sorry, but something came up for me when you said that. And it's two things. One thing, what I was thinking of before is called cognitive dissonance,
Hmm.
where you have that battle in your mind. But also, what I've noticed, and this causes me so much heartache, is and I don't know if it's a cultural thing in Black families or if it's across cultures, but I have noticed that there are so many women in the older generation who they just believe and expect that all little girls are going to be touched or harmed or violated or assaulted in some way throughout their childhood. I've recently heard someone say that, this just happens to all little girls. This is what happens. And so I wonder if that is part of the reason that They just look at it as, well, I went through it, my mother went through it, my grandmother went through it, so it's just something that you just go through and you just move on kind of thing. And that generational trauma just gets passed down
Hmm.
from generation to generation. And I feel like we're the sort of the generation that's, and the ones after us that are breaking those
Breaking that curse,
norms.
right, right.
Yeah.
Because it has to be, and you're right. It's a generational thing. Um, because, and I may be getting ahead of myself, but
No,
because
no, go ahead.
my mom was molested when she was younger,
Yeah.
and she's carried those wounds and those emotions with her throughout her life, and
Yeah. But
it's still
does
showing
she
up.
understand that though?
No, but I've been talking to her,
Okay.
and we've been making some leeway. I've told her she really needs to see a counselor or somebody because my mom is now in her 80s,
Mm-hmm.
and every now and again she goes through this thing and it comes up and she starts talking about it, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
and I understand. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because of what I've gone through. But once she shared with me what she went through, and this was a couple of years ago, the light bulb went off in my head and it answered a lot of things for me because growing up, my mom was not attached,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
Um, I remember, there weren't a lot of hugs and kisses and a lot of I love yous floating through the air.
Yeah.
I even and when I started having friends and going to like places with my friends or going to my friend's house and seeing how they interact with their moms and the hugs and the I love yous and the just the way they interacted, I kind of longed for that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember one day I asked my mom, we was in the house, and I was like, "Do you love me?"
Mm-hmm.
And you would have thought I said the most disrespectful thing to her because she just
Mm-hmm.
lost it. But
Mm-hmm.
she never said, "Yes, I love you."
Mm-hmm.
What she said was, "How dare you ask me that question?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If I didn't love you, do you think I would do this? If I didn't love you, did I think I would do that? I wouldn't do this, that, and the third, da, 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 if I didn't love you."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, then I felt like I did something wrong.
Right. Triggering that guilt and shame.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And then she was more hurt that I asked her that, like, how dare you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she never said, yes, I love you. That might have been the one thing I needed to hear
Mm-hmm.
so that I didn't grow up feeling like I was unloved because of
Mm-hmm.
things that had happened to me. Because
Yeah.
I didn't have that comfort some people get when they go through something traumatic.
Yeah.
And it's nothing like a mother's love. It's
Yeah.
nothing like being able to crawl up next to your mom and her just put her arms around you and tell her, and she tells you, "I'm sorry that you're going through this. I love you. We'll get through this together." These are the things that was absent that made it even harder because on top of all of that, I'm feeling like, well, she just doesn't. And I just never understood it
Mm-hmm.
until later on in life when we were talking and she told me what happened. And that's when it went off.
Mm.
This is why you've been so distant or why you've done what you felt like you had to do out of love. Maybe it was her mom that told her things like, if I didn't love you, I wouldn't, blah, 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 right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, if she was distanced because of the pain and the trauma that she went through. But I was like in my late 20s before my mom ever said to me, "I love you."
Yeah. 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 So, right. So, and it's good that you at some point were able to kind of start have that conversation where you can start connecting some dots.
Hmm.
But leading up to that point, how did that affect your relationships?
Well, the first relationship that I believe it affected was the mother-daughter dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm an attentive parent,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm probably over. My children used to call me a helicopter mom. You've heard the term,
Yes.
right? They used to call me a helicopter mom because I'm so observant. So if they walk through the door and they have a different look or their attitude is different, what's wrong? What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
I noticed things and I felt like maybe not with the sexual molestation because I was still little, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this went on, it went on about 2.5 years
Mm.
because my cousin used to babysit us because my mom couldn't afford to send us to daycare. So
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't until we stopped going to my cousin to babysit us that stopped,
Was your
right?
cousin male or female?
Female,
Mm-hmm.
female. She was a
Mm-hmm.
female.
Mm-hmm.
And that was another thing that I had to deal with later on in life was my sexuality,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
that was something totally because I had to know that that wasn't normal, that wasn't right. But because these things happened, there was an internal fight, you know.
Yeah, that create exactly.
Mhm, with
Completely
forgive.
understandable.
Um,
That confusion. Mm-hmm.
yeah. Hmm. And so, but after I was raped and I got home and she was at work, because like I said, I was at my friend's house when I was supposed to be there because her parents were home. But
Mm-hmm.
the next day, I was a different person.
Yeah.
I, um,
Yeah.
I was carrying a lot of hurt and pain, and I started acting out.
How so?
Um, acting out and like I didn't think I was acting out, but she used to say I was acting out. I think I became a little more rebellious,
Mm-hmm.
um, a little more, well, just hanging with my friends. I started doing more things. I started um, not being as honest with her as I should have been.
Mm.
I was not listening, following her rules, and
Okay.
the distance that was already between us began to grow.
So you lost respect for her?
No, I don't think it was respect. I don't
Okay.
think I didn't lose respect. I think I blamed her for not
Mm.
knowing that something is wrong with my child because
Mm-hmm.
if I'm acting out for a reason. If
Mm-hmm.
I've changed this is, I don't know who you are. If I present myself differently, then there must be something internally going on and I don't know how to express it. Um, but one of the ways I was able to cope was I began writing poetry.
Mm-hmm.
So all of those feelings that I was carrying and had bottled up inside of me, I just picked up a pen one day and sat down and just wrote everything that I was feeling.
Mm.
And by the time I finished writing, what I had on paper was unbelievable. I was like, oh my
Mm.
gosh. And I thought it was almost like an out of body experience. Like,
Hmm.
I wrote this, you know, because
Mm-hmm.
I guess I was just in a zone. And when
Mm-hmm.
I read it back, I was like, oh, I wrote this. And then I called my girlfriend. I was like, oh, I'm about to come over there. I want you to read something I wrote.
Well,
And so I took it to her.
mm-hmm.
She read it and she was like, wow. And I let my friends read it and they all had the same reaction. And then I let my mom read it too.
Mm-hmm.
And her reaction was totally different from this. It was like, oh, it's
Mm.
nice. And then went
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
about her business. It was
Yeah.
no, well, where did this come from? Because
Yeah. Yeah.
something like that, you'll be like, okay, well, You had all of that inside of you. What's going on? What happened? What made you write this? It was,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it's nice. And right after the first one, there were more. There were more. And I was always telling my friends, and they were the ones that started calling me a poet. Be like, okay, little Miss Maya Angelou. I was like, okay, because that's what happened. And that's how I found relief through the
Okay.
poetry.
So that's what poetry did for you. It gave you that emotional, that psychological relief.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what we know. That is what writing does, right? It's a
It
whole
does.
psychology behind that.
So,
So, thank you so much for your transparency in sharing what you have shared so far. I know it has helped me. And there were definitely some things that I completely identified with.
mm-hmm.
For example, being molested by the female family member at
Yes.
around the same age. And also, there was one thing I thought about, and I don't think I mentioned this yet. I completely understand the whole not being afraid to share or ask a person who you love, did you know what was happening to me, or why didn't you? Because you
Right.
don't want to know the answer to it.
Right.
So yeah, I completely I get that. I get that.
Right.
You've kind of helped us understand what you wish people uh understood, at least
Mm-hmm.
some of the people in your life. You would what you wish they would have understood about how what you went through changed you
Right.
and affected you. So let me ask you this. What steps have you taken and are you taking to heal and recover from what you went through? Early bird registration is now open for the third annual The Overflow Life Women's Empowerment Conference, and it will be happening on April 3rd and 4th, 2026. That is the Friday and Saturday of Easter weekend, so hopefully that will make it easier for those of you who wanted to come one or both days but weren't able to because of a work schedule. Hopefully, you'll be able to make it either that Friday or that Saturday, and preferably both days, because trust me, the way the Holy Spirit moved in this year's conference and the previous year's virtual conference, you don't want to miss it.
What I've gotten so far from today is healing. I've begun healing. People have shared their testimonies, and it has opened up a window for me to see why I do certain things that I do.
Okay. So I went to anger management classes. Um, and I don't want to say that was the beginning of my healing, because the beginning of my healing, when I learned how to write my feelings out through the words. Anger management helped me to understand why I was always so angry. And after anger management, I started taking therapy classes.
Mm.
Um, I went through the EAP at work, the Employee Assistance Program,
Mm-hmm.
and was counseling through there to help me put into perspective all those trapped emotions that I was dealing with, and find ways to release some meditation, journaling. And then when I myself started studying to become a life coach, taking into practicing some of the things that I learned on myself, coaching myself, so
Mm-hmm.
that when I did have clients and I'm working with clients, I could be a better coach, be able to understand and put into practice all that I learned. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I've done.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Let me ask you this. When was the first inkling that you had that you were full of anger? Like, how did you?
When the least little thing would send me off, like I
Mm,
could drop a cup of water and the whole world was ending because I dropped a cup of water.
mm-hmm.
Um, I could make a mistake at work and
Mm-hmm.
it could be an innocent mistake, or I don't want to say there's no such thing as an innocent mistake, but it could be not egregious, basically. It was,
Yeah,
something,
there are innocent mistakes. Mistakes mean we didn't mean to do them.
right. Okay, there you go. So, and when my supervisor, somebody would say something to me because I was always on the fence because of things that had gone on,
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't take constructive criticism, so I would lash out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, then there's a such thing as emotional IQ, emotional intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the books that when I was going through counseling that I was asked to read. This was so many years ago. But in learning and reading it, I found out how I was not what they call emotionally intelligent because I let my emotions control my actions instead of me controlling my emotions. My emotions were controlling me, which is why it was so easy for me to just go from 0 to 100 in no time.
Yeah. Yeah, 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 that's so good. And don't you feel like, or I feel like, emotional intelligence is another thing that maybe previous generations weren't taught, didn't
Yes.
know, didn't have. Yeah.
Yeah. And proof of, and I guess our generation is the lucky generation because I think we're stronger than the previous generation simply because
Mm,
we are trying to break those generational curses.
mm,
And one of the things that, now in this day and age that I realize, I'm gonna make this quick, is back in the day when we would come home and tell our parents somebody said something about us, they would tell us to suck it up and hit us with that sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
yep.
That's not the truth. Words do hurt. Even from children calling you fat and ugly or, just
Mm,
constantly making you the butt of their jokes. That does something to you internally. And if you're already a person that's dealing with pain and trauma,
mm-hmm.
so words can hurt.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We internalize them.
Mm-hmm.
We internalize them and take them to heart, and then they become tapes
Mm-hmm.
and belief systems.
Yes,
And what I spend a lot of time teaching people when I'm coaching is that we operate out of our belief systems.
we do. Yes,
You might
ma'am.
know something intellectually and you can quote it and quote the word and whatever, but it's what you believe in your heart, in your
Mm-hmm.
soul. That's
Mm-hmm.
what you're reacting out of.
That's right. That is absolutely right.
So if you don't know what's in your soul,
Right. And sometimes that's why it's important to just take the time to figure out what is in your soul, what makes you you.
yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. Okay, and then how has what you survived shaped your view of God? I really want to know that.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to talk in hindsight too, right?
Okay.
What I realize is what I survived deepened my understanding of God's power and His
Mm,
presence in my life. Like I said, as a teenager, going through what I was going through and not having the proper out, God gave me an out. I didn't even really understand that He given me an out by telling me to pick up a pen and write what
mm,
I was feeling. right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was one thing. Um, therapy wasn't available then, right? And my mother, she was emotionally absent.
Mm-hmm.
So God became my refuge, my words
Oh,
and my refuge, right?
okay.
Like I said, that's why I began writing poetry. Um, and it also became a release, right? For everything, just a release. And even as I progressed in life, I held on to that foundation. Now, my family is spiritual religious, so I've always was rooted, but I didn't realize how much he meant to me or how much I meant to him
Mm.
because he kept me all of
Mm.
these years. I like to say I was walking through the dark, I was wandering through the dark. He brought me out of it. And that's how everything is deep in me. And I learned that God can meet us in our pain. Even when we're in pain, He will meet us there. They say it's the scripture that talks about God being close to the brokenhearted.
Yeah.
So I don't know what scripture that is, but I know the scripture.
Yep.
The downtrodden and the brokenhearted, He's closest.
Yeah, that's
So
what
I
it
just
says.
figured He
Mhm.
kept me close to Him all those years.
Mm.
He protected me.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't even see myself as broken anymore, but I'm beginning to see myself as someone that has been resilient and that is strong, and someone that has survived what was meant to break her down.
Yeah.
And I'm continuing to grow. I'm continuing to heal. I'm continuing to grow.
Yeah. Wow. What a great perspective to have. Because
Thank
I'll be honest with you, I was mad at God for a long time. Still ran to God, still had a close relationship
you.
with God, but I was angry. And it took me a long time and and gaining emotional intelligence to realize that it was okay and that I could talk to God about my anger and cry
Right.
out to God about my anger and that God would help me through it.
That's right.
So, oh wow, what an amazing testimony you
Thank
are, my
you.
sister.
Thank you.
And you have helped me so much in this interview. And I know you have helped, you're going to help so many others just through this interview. And I don't know if I mentioned earlier that you and your cousin, biological cousin, Dr.
Mhm.
Sean, have your own podcast that people can go back and watch episodes of. I don't know if you have any recent ones, but they can go
Yeah.
back and watch
Yeah.
Life, Love, and All the Above.
Oh,
And I
thank
will
you.
put the link in the description as well.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna try to reboot after the beginning of the year. Life just kind of started lifing for both of us. And
It
as
will
you
do
know,
that.
yeah, and as you know, it takes a lot to do a podcast. A
Yeah.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a calling
Yes, it
and it
is.
needs to be a passion. Yeah, for
Yes.
sure. Um, so tell people about your poetry book.
It's a book of poetry. It's called Pieces of Me, My
Mhm.
Life, My Love, and the Search and the Pursuit of Happiness.
Mm.
And it's just poems that I've written throughout the years that I've collected, that chronicalizes how I felt, my emotions, my pain. It's a document, it's memorializing what I've gone through. And I'm hoping that um, when people buy it or read it, that if they're lost or in a place that they're unfamiliar with, that it will help motivate them, give them the feeling of like, hey, I'm not alone. I haven't,
Mhm.
somebody else has been through what I've been through because I've read books. And when I read them, I'll be like, oh my gosh, how do they know they talking about me, right?
Yes.
So I'm hoping it'll provide somebody that's maybe just going through it, a way to say, hey, there's hope. I
Yeah.
can make it to the other side of this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if we don't talk about the darkness, how can we help people, guide people into the light?
Yes.
You
You
know what
can't.
I'm saying? If we don't talk about the darkness,
That's true.
where
So,
can people find this lovely book of which you speak?
well, um, publication date will probably be the beginning of the year. Um,
Okay.
um, it's being edited as we speak.
Okay. Yeah.
Finally, it's being edited, and once it's edited and everything is finalized, then I'll pick a release date. And then
Okay.
once I pick the release date, I plan on doing some type of like a launch party to launch the book. So I'm
Okay.
looking at maybe the second or third week of January.
Okay. So will it be digital and hard copy or paperback?
I think it'll be right now just digital.
Okay.
But if I go out and I want, my mind is saying do like a book tour, go do some things, and then I will have some printed up so
Mm,
that I could do like book signings and then hand them out like that. Yeah.
okay.
But for the most part, it'll be a downloadable book. Yeah. For
Oh,
Kindle, stuff like that. Yeah.
I love that. All
Thank
right,
you.
you did it.
Yes, finally. And
And
the
just
hardest, and I can share this now because I'm over it. But
okay.
that's how trauma still holds you captive at times.
Mm,
For me, my poetry was me, all of me, who I am, right?
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, every teardrop,
Mm-hmm.
every laugh, every disappointment, every whatever. It's my life, my story. And it's hard for me to share me with people in the presence, right? I have to get to know you before truly opening up and letting you. So to let this out to the world is to give me to the world in a sense. And
Yeah.
so I'm scared, I will be honest, of because I
Mm-hmm.
keep thinking the first time I get like a bad review or somebody said it was trash, then that's going to be a hit to me. And
Mhm.
but I'm learning that you have to take rejection. Rejection is a part of life. I can't keep playing it safe.
Yeah. And if that happens, you call me.
Okay.
I will build you back up again.
Okay.
If
Yes,
that
I will
happens.
keep, I will hold you to that because that's
If
what
that
I've been.
happens, it might not.
Yeah.
We're not going to claim that it will happen, but if it
But
does,
yeah.
you know
Yeah.
who to call.
That's right.
And I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
You're right. It does take courage, which is why most people never fulfill their potential, never, never pursue their dreams, never put those offerings out there to the world that
Right.
people are waiting for.
That's right. That's right. And it's because of fear or
Yeah.
some unresolved something that makes you keep thinking, I'm not, even though you know you are, deep down you be like, I'm not really worthy. I'm not really a writer. What if everybody reads it and feels like my girlfriend felt, oh, this is just sad. You know,
Mhm.
it was a lot playing in my head and I had to
Yeah.
pray real hard. And as you know, I've been trying to get this done for years. And so now it's finally done. It's with the editors, and it is what it
Oh,
is.
I'm so proud of you. So happy
Thank
for
you.
you.
Thank
And
you.
when it does come out, you can come back on the show. Do some of your poetry. We'll talk
Of course.
about the origin of some of the poems and
Mhm.
we'll look forward to that.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so before we end this wonderful episode, is there any last words or anything you want to share with those watching?
Yes. So for all your listeners, I just want you to know that if you're in your own place of pain, or it doesn't even have to be pain if you're just going through something, I want you to know that what happens to you doesn't define you,
Mm.
right? Your story is still unfolding, and there's life, love, and purpose on the other side of survival. And also, really, really quick, one more thing that just came to my mind.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of years ago, First Lady Michelle Obama wrote a book called Becoming,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I saw everybody started doing their own spinoff of becoming this, becoming that. Sometimes it's not about becoming. Sometimes it's about staying still so you can hear from God,
Mm.
staying alive, staying hopeful,
Mm.
staying grateful, and staying open to healing your wounds.
Well, all right. What they do when the poetry?
Right.
All right, that was a word right there.
Thank you.
Yeah, so good. So good. I
Thank
love
you.
it. And I love
Thank-
you.
I love you more.
And I will talk to you soon.
Okay, and I'm gonna be ready to have my table at the Overflow conference this year. I'm
Hmm.
having a nice little setup, so y'all come see us at the Overflow
Absolutely. Yes.
conference
Absolutely.
because you will not be sorry. You'll be sorry if you miss it, but trust me. Last year we had a ball. The year before we had a ball, and this year we going up.
Listen.
We going all the way up this year.
And one of the things we talked about was what we were going to put into the earth, what God had put in us to birth into the earth between that conference and the next conference on April 3rd and 4th of 2026.
Yes.
And the main thing we talked about with Nisi was that she was going to finish this poetry book. So, hey, listen, when I tell you that the way God poured into each one of us
Yes.
and then enabled us to pour into each other, and that
Yes.
encouragement and empowerment,
Yes.
which is why it's called the Overflow Life Women's Empowerment Conference, that empowerment has continued to carry us and is carrying us into 2026. And then we're going to share some praise reports at the conference in 2026. So, yeah, I'll echo my sister and really you won't regret it. You won't regret it. If God is putting it on your heart to join us, then don't put it off. Get your registration. It's still an early bird
That's right.
pricing. So, don't put it off. Do it today.
Yes. Get in there so you can see us and we
Yeah,
can see y'all.
in person, we can give you a big old hug.
Yes.
All right, Miss,
All right.
I will let you go.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank
Love
you.
you.
Love you too. Bye.